Okay, it sounds all right. Well, hello. I'll go give it a minute or two, see if some more people will jump on here. Unfortunately, I can't hook my mic up to my computer right now, so just using the what's coming out of the Mac directly, I probably isn't gonna be too good sound quality, unfortunately. But let me know if it drops off entirely or anything like that, or if it's just unlistenable or something. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to play my song then, which is the song from the show. The sun is bright, our shirts are clean, we're sitting up above the sea. Come on and share this jam with me. Peach or plum or strawberry, any kind is fine. You see, come on and share this jam with me. I'll do my best to give this jam the sweetness it deserves. And I'll keep it fresh. I'm jamming on these tasty preserves. Ingredients in harmony, we mix together perfectly. Come on and share this jam with me. Come on and live stream with me. Alright, I figured I wanted to learn another song from the show, even though I kind of forgot about that one. I was just looking over which other ukulele songs there are. Again, hopefully this sounds not bad. It seems like it's okay, I suppose. So, anyway, like I've done for the past couple of seasons, since I finished a new season of the verse, as I call it, of the Steven universe, I want to go over it, because especially since when I finish my reaction to the finale, I always just go right into a recap, so don't really have time to think about it. Thanks for the compliments, guys. Um, so it's been a couple of days since I finished the season, and I didn't think of too much stuff, I guess, but just sitting down and talking about it a little bit. Hopefully, if you guys have some questions too regarding the season or the show in general, obviously no spoilers to season 5. That could help me think of more stuff to talk about as well. But like I've done for the last couple of seasons, also I have the episode list pulled up here. So I'm just gonna go through the episode titles real quick and see, refresh my memory on everything that was in the season. Try to pull together what the main themes were. I've been saying for a while. I think the main theme of the season seemed to be about Steven's issue with Rose, with his mom, who he is his mom. That was the finale was called "I Am My Mom." So I said in that one, in the past he's kind of he gets upset when other gems refer to him as his mother, as Rose, but now he's kind of accepting it a little bit, or at least he thought he had to accept that to save his friends at the end of the show. So where it's leaving off going into season 5, I'm assuming they're going to Homeworld, or they're on their way there at least. I don't know if something will intervene for him not to get there, or I guess possibly they're Aquamarine and Topaz are the new gems, taking him to a different location or something than Homeworld maybe. But I think they're bringing him to the Diamonds, where I assume that's where they are. So I don't know, but let me just look through pull up the episode list here. I don't know if anyone wants to start off with a question or comment or anything like that. But oh yeah, so the first episode. That's right, I remember now. The first episode, Kindergarten Kid of the season. I live reacted to that on my last live stream. That's right. Where I also spilled coffee on my computer during the start of that live stream, which is why I have some issues where I can't plug my mic into this computer now. Never mind that though. So yeah, that one was an homage. They're even calling it on this list here an homage to the Roadrunner cartoons from Warner Brothers, which I did make note of when I watched that. It was fairly obvious. Not my favorite episode, but it was interesting. I mean, that was probably the most they parody, I guess, a lot of things on the show, or they do references to a lot of other cartoons or a lot of other things from media, but that was like maybe the most direct one they've done where the whole episode was that. But there's a little bit about Peridot learning things, but in general, that one didn't have too much of a plot. Um, then we had Know Your Fusion, so that was the Smoky Quartz. Now I'm trying to remember, did Smoky Quartz come back after this episode? This was like a parody of like a talk show, that one. So they started off the season with back to back kind of reference, or, almost direct parodies or homages to things. I've noticed they do that a little bit too. They some in the previous season they had two similar episodes together as well. Sometimes they, even though I'm assuming they're not. No, it's these weren't even aired back to back. I'm seeing their dates on them now. So even though I'm watching them like that, I don't think that's how it's intended. But it is kind of interesting how they put similarly themed episodes together sometimes. Then we had Buddy's book. All right, that was more from William Dewey, or his first mate Buddy, I guess, uh, who they had Jamie be a stand-in for. That was a decent one. Um, Mindful Education. Oh yeah, that was a good episode with Stevani back in it when they were both, Connie and Steven, both feeling guilty about different things. That was clearly about the mom. Then again, right, Smokey was in Know Your Fusion. Yeah, that's the episode I'm talking about there, Isaac. So I was wondering if Smokey came back after that episode. Feel like maybe once, but maybe not. A lot of episodes are aired in week-long Steven bombs. Yeah, that's like a thing I guess Cartoon Network does. Because I remember it from Adventure Time. People are getting frustrated with that. Like they wouldn't have a new episode for like months, and then they would release them all. And I think with that show, at least, even without advertising it much, they would release like 5 episodes in a row or something, maybe in one day. I don't know if Steven gets treated a little bit better, but it sounds like maybe not, unless the creators of the show want it to be the case where it's released all together. So I don't know. All right. Favorite and least favorite season episodes now that you've seen them all. I guess when I keep going through these here, I'll figure out which were my favorite and least favorite. I'll try to go through a little quicker here. Um, Future Boy Zoltron, that was episode 5. That was probably toward the bottom for me of the season, I would say. That was with the Mr. Smiley and his old comedy partner, right? That was, I don't know, that one didn't have too much of a point that I recall. Last one out of Beach City was the one after that, which I did like that one a lot. That was with, although that was the one episode where I said Steven didn't really need to be in it. That was something I learned this season that I guess, which I guess I hadn't picked up on, that Steven is literally in every episode, and the creator of the show wants that to be the case. So there's never going to be an episode without Steven, even though, in my opinion, some of the episodes would make sense a little more without him, or he seems superfluous. But apparently, I guess it's supposed to be only through Steven's eyes. That's the conceit. So I'm not going to get any episodes without him. But regardless, that was a good one. Pearl, probably still my favorite character. A lot of people ask me what my favorite character is on the past Q&As. She's usually toward the top. Although, yeah, this was a big Pearl episode, and that's where she meets like another human that reminds her of Rose. Not another human, because obviously Rose isn't human, but a human that reminds her of Rose, like a cool girl. She's trying to be cool and all that. That was a little bit of yeah. There was a lot of kind of parody episodes. Not direct, not like pure parody, I guess, but a lot of episodes that were, because that was like the teen comedy episode. There's a lot of episodes this season that were direct references or homages to other things. Um, but in terms of favorite episode, that's probably not my absolute favorite episode of the season, though. Even though I did like it. Um, I mean, I like the whole arc with the zoo. So there was a few of those episodes in a row had that arc. So I mean, there was one. I guess my favorite episode was Steven's dream, given that did a whole separate video discussing that one, breaking it down a little more. That was with Steven and going to Korea, I guess, with Greg when he found out he has the connection with Blue Diamond, which I'm still not 100% sure why he has that connection. Like when she's crying, that he starts as well, but I don't think they fully explained that to us yet through season 4. But since I did a whole separate episode or video, I guess that if that wasn't my favorite, that was at least the most interesting to me, or posed the most questions for me. I mean, I liked the zoo episode a lot, um, and the following episode is called "That Will Be All." I like that one a lot too, with Blue and Yellow Diamond both showing up in that one unexpectedly to what's her name, to Holly Blue. Um, so she got to meet her heroes on one hand, but on the other hand, uh, her employees, the Amethysts, those were funny characters as well. Meeting some other Amethysts, and I liked how that our Amethyst got them to. That was a little bit of a subversion, how they just started siding with our Amethyst right away, basically. Uh, so yeah, I'm not sure if we'll see that Holly Blue character again. We might, but I'm certainly thinking we'll be seeing the Blue and Yellow Diamond again sooner rather than later. I don't know if they're going to be together, but I'm assuming Aquamarine and Topaz are trying to take Steven slash Rose to Yellow Diamond, right? Um, there's that episode Room for Ruby. I watched that one recently. I've not been a big fan of the Rubies so far on the show. That was probably the best Ruby episode, though, because they showed the one Ruby Navy, Steven calls her, that even though she's an antagonist, it was at least showing a little more. I guess one of the Rubies has a little more going on upstairs than, because they most other ones, including the one that's half of Garnet, seem pretty simple, or at least they don't. Like Navy was acting pretty devious, and the other Rubies seem to get angry really quickly, and they don't like sit and think about things a lot. So that was an interesting take there. Let's see. Yeah, I skipped a few in here, but I wonder most. So I guess the season was pretty much broken down with the new fusion at the start of it. Obviously, Smokey. Um, a couple of Connie Steven episodes. Then we had, of course, I liked the episode too with Andy, who's Greg's cousin, who wanted to be called Uncle Andy, I guess, even though he's not technically an uncle. With the plane, that was like the Thanksgiving episode, I guess. So we brought him in. Then it had the whole mid-season arc that I was just discussing, with the connection with Blue Diamond and finding out more stuff about Pink Diamond, and then Greg getting kidnapped, obviously. A couple more townspeople episodes, and then we finished off with the, I guess, which is a new arc of these new gems that are more antagonists, and Steven getting taken this time. So a lot of kidnapping in this season evidently. So yeah, with this Aquamarine and Topaz, um, I don't. Yeah, I mean, we don't know, or I don't know too much about them yet. Aquamarine's kind of reminds me of like Veruca Salt from um, Willy Wonka, like at least her voice and kind of like her kind of petulant attitude. Um, I like her weapon a lot. That's cool. I was talking about that in my finale recap. It's like a little pointer thing that seems to be pretty OP. I mean, it seems like the, the Crystal Gems put up a pretty weak fight. I know, like Topaz was kind of using a human shield with like Jamie and the people that were inside her, um, but yeah, they like, so Garnet couldn't punch her or whatever. But yeah, they didn't put up a very good fight there. So I don't know if Aquamarine's like the strongest gem we've seen yet or not. It does seem like she's higher up in the order than Topaz, and we even this season as well. We got some more allusions to like the strata of the gems, the kind of upper class, lower class type of thing. Peridot's still learning, even though she's still kind of has ideas that aren't woke or whatever. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't know if anyone wants to throw me another question. Appreciate that. But yeah, there was a Lion 4 episode, which was like the mirror episode to the other Rose's Tape one. I don't know if there's a Lion 5 coming up in season 5. That's one recurring thing they keep having in here. The Lion episodes, yeah, always have like a movie reference in the title then. So let me see if I can figure out what I've already been saying that Steven's mother issues are seem like certainly for his character, but in general, it seemed like the main theme of the season. Let me see if I can pull out what some of the other themes were, though. I mean, fusion's always a thing. It wasn't as big this season. I think that was one of the bigger things in season 3, but it's still. And then we got to see the Alexandrite fusion again in the finale, which did so the Crystal Gems did get it together a little bit to save some of the townspeople that got kidnapped there. But yeah, well, no, yeah. If there's no questions, I mean that's fine, I guess. But um, maybe you guys could tell me. Oh yeah, I don't want yeah spoilers. Maybe you guys could on here could tell me what your favorite episode from season 4 was, or like one of your favorite moments from the season, or like a moment that you want me to talk about more, or something like that. Could be something. And then I do still, if it isn't a spoiler, I guess I'm still a little bit confused about. I know there's season 5, obviously. I feel like I saw a comment that said there is going to be a new season because someone commented like something saying like they're like you're finishing soon and the new season doesn't come for months or something. But then I also feel like I saw another comment that seemed to imply that season 5 was the end of it. Maybe it's a situation where they don't know if they're renewed or something. But if someone could tell me that without spoiling anything, I would be interested to know that. So Asteroid 100, season 4 was my least. Okay, so you're saying that season 4 was your least favorite overall. The zoo arc was really good, which I agree. The zoo arc was good. I don't know if what my favorite season is. Um, I mean, this probably was the first season to have a little bit of filler in there, which I think there was one episode where I considered a little bit of filler. That was that Tiger Philanthropist, that another the further wrestling episode, and even the one I mentioned just before, the Future Boys Ultron was a little fillery, so maybe there was a little bit of that this season. Okay, so there's a movie in the fall, season 6, not confirmed but highly likely. Okay, a movie, so it's like almost like an anime thing there, and then they're throwing movies in. That's interesting. Hmm. I wonder if the movie is. I guess without spoiling anything, I wonder is the movie like a couple episodes together type of deal, or like it's sticking with the main plot, or is it going to be like some type of side story, and maybe something happens at the end of season 5 that would make sense to why they would have that. But um, rumors have it that there's an 8th season. Well, that's really getting ahead of things, I would say, Isaac. But yeah, I mean, let me try to think now. Then what? Obviously, again, I have a whole season to go, but trying to think of what plot lines need to get wrapped up and what more that I would like to see. I mean, right now I'm really focused on this whole rose quartz thing. I still want to know what happened with the pink diamond thing and why Garnet and Pearl won't tell Steven. It seems like they still know something, obviously, that they're not telling. They refuse to tell Steven. Um, and why doesn't Greg know about whatever it is? Because he seems to not. So that's like what I'm most interested in, other than the direct cliffhanger from the season four. What's going to happen? But so some debate going on right here about if there is a season six confirmed or not. It looks like. Okay, the movie is a standalone adventure, presumably not connected. Okay, so that answers my question there. All right, well, that's interesting. That does seem to be like an anime thing they do there. And the show, I already been talking about a lot of references it makes to other pop culture and TV and movies and stuff. It definitely has clear anime influence as well. Um, no information other than an uninformative teaser trailer. Is it so uninformative that I could watch it without getting spoiled? I guess I probably shouldn't regardless. I gotta be careful looking out for stuff here. They're still trying to get me now when I just like I'm looking through like because I'm putting up these videos about Steven Universe now on like my feed for YouTube, but like other Steven Universe videos are popping up, and I have to like literally like not like shut it down right away or like avert my eyes because I think there's like some of these videos clearly have spoilers or something in the title. I would think, which is kind of annoying, but I don't really know what the fix for that is because um, like with YouTube, I guess if I want something not to show up in my algorithm that's always changing, like I could put on like the what do you call it, like this the version of your browser that doesn't show your history on the I don't know why I'm blanking on what the name of that is, um, but I can't do that for my own channel, obviously. So yeah, that's like kind of what I'm saying. Asteroid, yeah, even if it doesn't spoil that, it'll pull up some things. Incognito, thank you, Jessica. My incognito browser. So yeah, like I was saying, I can use that for when I don't want the algorithm to change, or if I'm looking up a stupid question that I just don't want in my history. All right, so let me think here about some of the other. All right, so yeah, I was already starting to go into what outstanding questions or events I need to see on the show still, and maybe they'll be here in season five or not. I mean, season five, it better give me some answers regarding the pink diamond getting shattered by Rose incident, which clearly has something more to it. I'm still pretty curious about like I still really feel like there's a fourth diamond that doesn't has not seemed to get mentioned at all so far, and I don't know why Steven doesn't ask about it or he doesn't notice or whatever. But I know sometimes it's just for the sake of a show, like they can't have the characters asking all the questions, and then because they want it to be a surprise for the viewer. I get that, but um, I don't know. Clearly, there's like I mentioned it a couple times before, but there's like that pad and on the moon base, or I think I saw it another place too, where there's four diamond things, and one of them looks like clear or white or something. So that seems to be the only one unaccounted for. But again, I don't think there's been any line of dialogue even about it. So curious about that. Curious to see Homeworld. Like I said, I'm assuming they're going there now, or they're trying to bring Steven there now. And Lars too. Apparently, I think he's still on the ship. So that was a little. And Lars got a little more characterization. They started going into him again toward the end of the season. There's a further episode about him and the cool kids, and he's a frustrating character for sure because you just he's frustrating to Sadie obviously and to Steven, but you really want to be like, come on, man, like you just don't act a certain way. They'll like you anyway, whatever. And then now he's like being cowardly, like not fighting the giant. He seemed like he was running away, and that's why he's still on the ship. So I don't know. The show can be awfully convenient about the lack of not a lot of exposition over life outside of Earth. Yeah, so I think some of that's like I said. Obviously, they just want to hide stuff from the viewer because they want to bring it up later. Possibly, they haven't even thought of some of the things yet. I guess. But I do think and then the crystal gems don't know about obviously a lot of things that are going on outside of Earth because it's the main characters we have that they've been on Earth for a long time, not in Homeworld or wherever. But yeah, something. clearly Pearl and Garnet at least must know some more things that they're refusing to tell Steven. And I did that. That was one of the scenes I liked, which was part of that whole arc too in the middle of the season. I did like that Steven was getting a little bit, even though he was acting a little petulant in the one part, um, that he was getting angry that he wasn't being told things. So that was a little change for his character. In general, this season, he still acts like Steven. Even in the that last episode I watched, his character is held throughout, but his disposition has definitely changed a little bit, and he's getting older too and stuff. But a lot of it seems to be tied to people not telling him things and people the things with his mom and not being sure what he's there for, what he's supposed to do. I've still had the theory for a while that Rose had Steven because to like bridge the gap. That's what makes the most sense to me. Like to bridge the gap between Earth and Homeworld to like make someone that's of both worlds. That's like the Messiah type of figure. Maybe it's not that serious, but someone that can bring the two groups together. That's my theory still. The only thing I don't, the other part of that that I don't doesn't make sense to me, or at least something's missing. A piece of the equation's missing is why doesn't Greg know about whatever that is? It doesn't seem like he's lying to Steven about anything. Like he seems like he's being completely honest about not knowing certain things about Rose. But obviously they had the child together. He must have known that she was going to disappear after this. So like she must have told him that. So wouldn't she have then had to tell him why she's doing it? I guess maybe she just didn't tell him and it was a surprise to him. But I would think he would be more upset about that at this point. Obviously, he's upset that she's gone still, but I don't know. Okay, question, I guess. Thanks for trying. Uh, any gemstones I'd be interested in seeing show up aside from a diamond? Well, I'm not sure because the only reason I think that there's a fourth diamond is because of like what I said, because of that diagram or that button or whatever that has four seems to have four diamonds on it. I'm interested. I'm always interested in meeting new gemstones, but I don't know if the question is like, is there like just gems I know about that are gems in real life that could be like, because like I know there's something called aquamarine. All right, now aquamarine showed up in the new episode. I'm not sure. Is that what you mean, or do you mean like someone that's been previously referenced that we haven't seen yet? And also I don't. I guess it does seem like the diamonds are the head of everything. I don't know. I guess I'll be more interested in who's like top to bottom. We know pearls are like almost like slaves, or like they're like the servants, indentured servants. Peridot is higher than that, but and like rubies are kind of and amethysts are kind of like the guards or the grunts. Paradots have their own thing, but they're not as high up, or at least our paradots not because of that's the whole thing too. Like there's now I'm blanking on the term they used, but like if it's like it's the second wave, that's not right, but like the second wave or second edition or third or something. That's why Peridot has um, the fake limbs. She, before, and she was upset before she found out her power and stuff too. So I'm curious about what's going on with that too. I guess Homeworld's losing resources. That was the reason why. So I don't think it's been explained why that's been happening. So I'm curious about all the further about how Homeworld works. It's probably one of the more interesting things to me because world building is one of the main reasons I like the show. There's a lot of reasons, but I'm really into world building when it comes to TV shows, especially. But okay, so in case I was curious of real world gems showing up. Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about gems in general. I know more from watching this show, and there's also an anime I've seen called Land of the Lustrous that it's kind of similar. The plot line's not really similar, but it's similar in the terms that the show also has gem humanoid characters. There's no humans in this show, but they have the same thing too. Like there's diamonds in that, I think, and whatever. But other than watching these shows, I don't really. It's not something I know about. Like I hear like aquamarine, like or topaz, like oh I've heard of that before. I know what it is, but kind of. But I can't think of other ones. Like, I mean, a lot of the ones that the fusions, especially a lot of the ones like Alexandrite or Sardonyx, I've never heard of those in my life. And then I like look them up after the fact and try to see if the writers of the show like named it one that purpose for one purpose, like because it's like the thing that it is in real life, the gem that it is in real life. And sometimes you can find things that are fit closer than others. Some of them might just be more random. Um, Talking about era two, okay, that's the word, I guess. Era two gems versus era one hasn't been touched on much up to season four, right? I think it's only been touched on once or twice, yeah, directly from Paradat's mouth. And that was an interesting. That was another episode I liked that I don't think I mentioned yet from this season with the new crystal gems. How they had this, they showed the flashback to what happened when our main characters were having their arc up in space. Connie and the Pumpkin and Lapis and Paradat had their adventures on Earth. I always like checking in with them though. Lapis and Paradat are definitely two of my favorite characters as well. Mostly for bringing the humor, especially P Dot. Um, but and I like their whole barn. Their whole, it's like a museum kind of or something. The things they're doing with it. Paradat as their toilet shrine and everything like that. That's all funny stuff. Um, Yeah, so I guess I'm also interested in meeting. I don't know if we're gonna ever meet a second Lapis or a second Paradat. Like we are starting to meet, or through this season, we started to meet some more of the gems, like the second ones, or other than the ones we know directly. I'm interested to see like do all Paradats act that way. I kind of hope not because I kind of do like some of the unique qualities characters can have, but like I said with the rubies, for example, other than navy, it seems like they're and then our ruby, doing the controversial thing of fusing with a different type of gem, but for the most part, they seem pretty similar. But duplicate gems, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you could yes, some people saying I might have answered questions on previous live streams, but it's fine. Like you can repeat questions are fine. I don't even remember all the questions I answered on the other ones, to be honest, and my opinions or answers might change at this point anyway. Jessica's saying I can play the video game now since it takes place during season four. I don't know anything about the video game. Not much of a gamer to be honest, so probably wouldn't play it. But unless it's like online or something, I can get to it easily. That's interesting though. If it takes place during season four, does that just mean that's when the game was made? So anything up to that, or was it like, are you playing like as Steven, like trying to escape from the zoo or something? It's canon, okay. Which that makes it sound like it's a separate story then, but it's still part of the main canon. Um, yeah, I don't know. There's like, can you? I guess I'm kind of curious about that then. Even if I might not play it, I could watch like a if it does have a new side story that's part of the canon. Maybe I should watch a YouTube video about it, somewhere watching someone play it or something. Comics too, okay, yeah, yeah. A lot of cartoons seem to have comics as well. At least some of them, it seems like they start making it after the show is like a new season or something, or maybe not even just cartoons. I think like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they made like a whole new season through a comic book or something. But comics are not canon. Okay, well maybe I'll check them out sometime when I'm finished with the show. Secondary canon, like the showrunners claim. Okay, is that some shade being thrown toward them? I think secondary canon's not a thing. I don't think it. I don't know what that would really mean. I guess yeah, if something is canon or not. Typically, people always say they have head canon. Now that's a term I've heard a little bit more recently. Like my head canon for the show. I think that means like what I want to happen or what I'm filling in the blanks for the show of different things, even though it's not a thing. I'm just making it up. That's an interesting concept to me. Um, yeah. So what I was kind of on the track of other things I want to see, outstanding questions or events I need to see. Um, yeah. So the whole diamond homeworld stuff. I guess I could start thinking of some of the more earthbound elements. Oh yeah, I was trying to talk about Lars a little bit. So I do even remember a comment, probably from a season one video. And it was a comment on one of the reactions to a Lars episode. I feel like someone said like it's crazy how much Lars is different at the beginning of the show than now. They're probably been talking up through season five. So, but I now that I think about that, I don't feel like he's that different, even given the episode again with the cool kids. Which he unfortunately got kidnapped. He might have got some development by going to the potluck or the party or whatever, maybe. But overall, it doesn't seem like too much has changed with him to me. So maybe he has a big season five or something though. And then Sadie is always with him. Like they're even I still don't exactly know are they a couple or not. I still feel like they're not entirely a couple, but I don't. Sadie's mom, even in the last episode or second last episode, said something about her boyfriend, which I'm assuming is Lars. Also, are they the only two characters that work at the donut shop? I mean, we obviously only see them. If it was more realistic, I think should be more characters working at the donut shop. Even if two of them get kidnapped, third person's got to come in for the shift. I'm kidding, but I guess it's just a cartoon thing. Like they can only animate so much, or only so much makes sense. Um, Everything about my understanding of Lars and Sadie is accurate. Okay, so yeah, it does seem like it's like a I don't know if will they won't they thing, but it's a gray area issue. But that is somewhat realistic. I do like that to an extent because that's kind of how real life can be, especially when you're a teenager or whatever. And your relationships with people, you don't always know exactly what's going on. And Lars clearly is still embarrassed about, even if he does like her, he clearly still seems to be embarrassed about her because one of the things he was like saying to Steven, I think like, oh, I'm showing up with a cake and with Sadie and like all this stuff he considers to be embarrassing, even though again, it's like frustrating because you're like, come on, man, like that I'm part of it is we know how the characters act when he's not there anyway. So like we know more about them, but still it can be frustrating for me at least. Like when you like try to help people. So this is how I'm like putting myself in Steven's shoes a little bit. How you like try to help people, like you can see something so clearly that they just can't see about themselves, and it's frustrating. Although I don't want Steven going back, switching into Lars's body again. I think that was from season three and not four, but that was a little too creepy and invasive there. Even though he didn't technically do it on purpose. I thought they were going there for a second. They did a fake out on me in the episode I'm talking about where Lars we find out now he's kidnapped. But when Steven, I thought Steven was like he was like, oh yeah, I think they purposely did that to make you think of that episode. But then he's just like, I'll call him on my cell phone. Um, Lars used to get on my nerves to be honest, but he's not Kevin, I guess. So that was a good. Was that episode from the season? I can't remember now. I feel like I think it was. Was it? I mean, I'm looking at the list again here. No, I guess not. Not seeing it on the season four list here. So I guess that was from season three. Maybe someone can tell me if I'm wrong, but the Kevin episode where it was kind of like a Fast and Furious parody a little bit, but Stevani came back and drove the car. Um, so I did like that one though. That one had a lot of good animation. I remember too. But yeah, that's how you can get into. That's like another thing showing where not just being frustrated with your friend or someone but like just someone that really grates on your nerves for whatever reason. Um, but Stevani was able to get the better of Kevin, even if Steven by himself couldn't do it. But I did. I think I pointed out at the time when I was watching that episode. But it did seem to me like a little bit, which is maybe not unrealistic either, but it was a little silly how like Steven was so mad at this guy who ultimately didn't do. He's like a jerk, and he's like an annoying guy, but he didn't do anything that wrong compared to like what the real villains of the show are trying to do to him. So that's kind of funny. Um, yeah, I don't know if again, like if there's no outstanding questions in here, that's cool. But trying to think what else I should discuss. I guess I could have prepared a little more. It might have made sense, but I'm really doing improv here, winging it. Um, yeah, that was season 3. All right, yeah, that's what I thought then. Um, the joke villain is what you're saying. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. So like I said, that's not. I guess that's not unrealistic because a shopper going by or something making noise. But yeah, that's. I guess it's not unrealistic to have in your real life. You could. There are people that do worse things to you that you should consider more. I mean, in real life, most people don't have. At least I don't. I feel like most people don't have like enemies like that, really. But maybe some people do. But there are people that just grate on your nerves more for whatever reason, even though they're not the worst people in your life or whatever, doing the worst things for to you. Um, yeah, that the kids driving made you nervous. It was a little. Again, it's always like a fine line over what's realistic or not, because obviously it's a fantasy show. It's a cartoon as well, so there's always like a line between what's logic of, if something's breaking the logic of the show itself, or um, breaking logic that would be considered in the real world, or cartoon logic. So that's the case where I think it's using cartoon logic. It's not like logic of the show. And what I'm talking about is like Stevani just being able to drive like fat. Realistically in real life, you wouldn't be a fusion in any way. But if you just tried driving for the first time and like a car race around a winding mountain, you'd probably kill yourself or crash, or you wouldn't know what to do, which wasn't the case here. But that I consider cartoon logic more than, so something like that would happen on another cartoon too. I think that didn't even have fusions or space or anything like that. But then there's things on the show like a lot of Steven's powers and stuff where that's just part of the show logic. And what powers did he get this season? He can float now. Was that this season, or was that was last season as well? I think where he got the floating in. Oh, we saw it a lot this season though. Oh, you're saying Greg taught Steven how to drive? Did he? I don't know. I don't recall. All right. Well, it makes a little more sense then, I guess. But it's just something I've seen on other shows too, like like kids have to, even. Well, I don't want to spoil on a movie I saw recently. That's a big popular movie right now. There was a younger character too who had to drive a car where it was like, and that was fine too. So it comes up a lot in things, I guess. I don't know if anyone can guess which film I'm talking about, but so looking at the list here again. Yeah, so Lars. I'm trying to think of other. Well, I wonder if there's anything um, tying the characters that got kidnapped together, other than the fact that it was just the one Steven told to Paradat back then. I don't think so, other than, of course, they're all friends with Steven. I mean, like Jamie, the mailman being thrown in there was pretty random. That wouldn't have came up if he hadn't just mentioned him for whatever reason at the time. Jamie's mostly a comic relief character, I think. Ronaldo, there was another Ronaldo episode this season I haven't mentioned yet. Not my favorite episode or anything. It was okay. But he comes up a lot, so it is like kind of a through line through the show as well with Ronaldo, how with his wild theories and whatever, how he's getting a little bit closer every time, and he's now starting to accept that everything's happening because of the gems. I'm not sure if he's going to have something to play on in the future. He's going to have some big role in the future. seems like maybe because they do go back to him a lot, and but like I said, they go back to Lars a lot too. So and Sadie. So I don't know. I don't always know if it's just like again making the world big or including all these characters we know just to do it to fill out the world more or to and to have quote unquote more normal people to bounce off against the crazy gems, or if some of these characters are gonna because like Connie for instance came in as a friend for Steven and at first is like I still consider her a little bit of the audience surrogate figure, but now she's like really entwined in everything, having a big role. So I don't know if any of these other side characters are gonna step up in similar fashion, or maybe some of the characters just have like one. I could see Ronaldo maybe just having one important thing to do. I don't know. Really, the Ronaldo episode was controversial when it first aired. Yeah, if you want to elaborate on that, I don't know. I don't really know why that would be the case. And it did bring up an even that one did bring up more of the Stephen. What I'm saying is like the theme of the season, Stephen with his mom, because at the end Ronaldo was asking about why doesn't he have a name for himself? Like all the gems just are called by their name directly. And he said, "Cause he's not really one, cause he is his mom, whatever." So even in that episode, it was brought up. I would say probably at least half the episodes this season, if not more, had at least, if not a direct reference, were somewhat about that whole storyline. Um, oh yeah, more talk about Steven driving. This is going to be a new controversy. Can should Stefani have been able to drive or not? Yeah, so I guess Greg was all right. I kind of forgot about that. I guess Greg was teaching him a little bit. I mean, it's still, come on, it's still like if you're a 14-year-old, you might know how to drive a little bit, but it's a huge difference to being in like a Fast and the Furious style car race down a mountain with a jerk like Kevin on your tail. Um, okay, so the controversy for the Ronaldo episode was something that Cartoon Network did, or they they teased a new gem for Ronaldo. Oh, I see what you're saying. So I guess maybe they had like a preview or whatever it was commercial about that people thought there was going to be a new gem. Like I guess like if it was Aquamarine coming in or whatever like that, but then it just ended up being Ronaldo. Yeah, that would be. I could see why people would be a little bit upset about that. That's a little bit of a bait and switch, I guess, if they did that. A little bit of a troll job. Which other characters have I not touched on? Well, in general, I would say, especially the back half of the season or post the arc of going to space, it did seem like the crystal gems weren't as featured as heavily in the season. Like I said, Pearl being one of my favorite characters, other than her one big episode being cool, she really didn't have much to do. I mean, she got a couple good digs in during the Holly Blue during that episode and whatever, but yeah, Garnet didn't have a big season. Um, Amethyst, yeah, at the beginning of the season it was a little, and last season especially was a little more Amethyst heavy going into the season with Smoky Quartz. But yeah, I wonder. That is a little curious. I guess they wanted to focus on the Stephen Plyline a little more, or whatever they wanted to do. But yeah, I was noticing toward then a bit of a lacking of the crystal gems. Um, okay, so you're saying they posted a picture of of a gem, meaning of the real gem, or not? Like they didn't like make up a fake cartoon and draw it, did they? And Bloodstone, I mean, I could definitely. I'm not surprised that Ronaldo would pick that for his name, but I've never heard of that gem either. I suppose it is real. You look up what it looks like here. Watch I get caught on some crazy spoiler just by googling Bloodstone. Nah, probably not. Oh, it's also known as heliotrope, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm curious. Are any of you guys into, I guess, gems or whatever, other than the show? Like, I don't know if anyone's like I was saying before. I really know nothing about them. Um, I don't know if there's like, are you guys like interested in seeing like a new gem that's not been on the show yet? I guess that I don't know. Um, oh, it was a Steven Universe style drawing. Okay, yeah, well, it seems like they were trolling there. I guess. When did this episode air? I have the air dates up now too. Rocknado aired on, so it wasn't April Fool's or anything. It aired on February 24th, 2017. So this, I guess, season four it aired fairly recently then, but finale was May 11, 2017. They did have those those two episodes air back to back. They're even calling it part one and two on here actually on Wikipedia. So, but if that was May 2017, I get, and what is it currently? It's getting close to May 2019, so it does seem like the season five must have been dragged out quite a bit there. I don't know if there was a big hiatus between season four and five, or if you were telling me they were released in bombs or whatever. That I guess maybe there's weeks in between. So yeah, interesting. So I'm getting close to getting caught. I guess I'm still, yeah, like 2 years away still of lacking knowledge of what you guys know. Hmm. Opal. Oh yeah, there hasn't been an Opal character, right? Or no, wait, there has. Is that one of the fusions, Opal? I guess it is, right? Is that the amethyst and pearl fusion? Yeah, okay, that's right. Yeah, she doesn't show up very often, and she's voiced by, maybe because there's a celebrity or a famous singer that does the voice for that one, I think. Although like Nicki Minaj, right, does the voice for another one too. So there's, yeah, they get, the show definitely gets big names. Seems to. Well, yeah, who does the voice of Opal? Now I'm trying to remember. Like, it's like a '90s era singer, I think, but not, yeah, not someone I guess as on the zeitgeist as Minaj, but someone famous. Well, whatever. Um, yeah, no, I guess that's a question. Season three was more fusion heavy than season four, but I guess it's a question what other fusions I have to potentially look out for if I'm still talking to you about future plot lines I want to see. So I'm trying to think, what haven't I seen yet? Obviously, Alexandra, I saw three of them together. I guess could there be a fusion of Alexandra plus Steven, like a four-way fusion? Probably, because Steven seems he can even fuse obviously with humans who have no gem quality like Connie Stefani. So it seems like that could happen. That one would be even bigger, I guess. Um, Steven, oh, I guess Steven with Pearl or Steven with Garnet as well, or even Steven with Ruby or Sapphire. We've only seen Steven, other than Stefani, we've only seen him fuse with as Smoky Quartz, right, with Amethyst. Unless I'm forgetting something. So yeah, I'm interested to see those fusions potentially. Um, what else? Oh, I don't know. Well, Peridot said she didn't want to try fusing still, right? Because like Garnet was going to do it with her that one time, and that one was like almost an analogy. Yeah, sometimes the fusion's a little bit of an analogy to like. I won't go as far as to say like sex or something, but it's kind of like that. Like it's, I definitely seen that a little bit when like Peridot's like, oh, I'm not ready to do it yet or whatever with Garnet, but a part of that's also like her mindset of like just getting more, realizing like how the homeworld society is wrong about things too. Um, but but I was setting that up to say Stephen, not Stephen, Peridot and Lapis together would be an interesting fusion. They could float around and do water stuff, like I don't know, combine their whole thing. Uh, Seems like they're not prepared for it. You think, huh? Why? I don't know. I think they could. They could even get Pumpkin involved. That would be too crazy. Amy Mann is the voice of Opal. That's right. I knew it was some famous '90s alternative singer songwriter type. Um, only for the debut episode, so she hasn't come back. Well, how many times have we seen Opal? Not yeah, again, not that much, I guess. 2 or 3 times maybe. Hmm. And then we did see, yeah, we got one showing of what's her name this season as well, Sardonyx, because she came in and knocked the rubies out with her hammer in the one episode. Or was that already last season? I guess that was last season too. Yeah, maybe whoever said before that season 4 is their least favorite. I'm not agreeing necessarily, but now that I'm trying to think of things to talk about, I'm going back to a lot of season 3 stuff apparently. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they did get a little bit because a lot of things I've been talking about, other than the Stephen and Rose ongoing plot line, a lot of the individual episodes are like homages and references to other cartoons or shows or movies and stuff. So possibly they got a little bit over involved with that type of thing this season. If I look through these episodes, yeah, like maybe a good third of them could be ones like that. And the one episode where they go to Korea, there's a lot of fourth wall breaking as well, which I liked that. I like that sort of thing, the kind of meta stuff, humor and stuff. But I guess possibly some people might not. Oh, right. So yeah, you're saying Mario Pixel that Peridot doesn't feel comfortable with it, which yeah, that's what I was talking about a little bit. I think she still could be eventually, but I didn't think of the whole Lapis. I wasn't thinking about the Lapis thing, her whole experience with it. So yeah, I guess it doesn't seem like they're going to do it anytime soon, but maybe there could be a storyline where in the future where they like have to deal with it for whatever reason, so they have to get over their issues. I don't know. There's some nuances about it that the showrunners have explained outside the show. Okay. Well, look, it's about to start season 5. The new episode of that reaction should be up next week. So pretty soon, I'll be a couple months from now. I'll be just caught up like you guys are, and looking forward to it. And then I can start researching all this other outside the show material, or read interviews with the showrunners or anything like that, and learn more about it. So anyway, yeah, I think that's a good time then to wrap the live stream up here. Thank you everyone who jumped on here and gave me questions, gave me stuff to talk about. I appreciate that. Uh, Obviously, if you're watching this after the fact, keep watching the channel. I appreciate that as well. Tell a friend if you know someone else that likes reaction videos or likes Steven Universe especially. You think they might like my reactions, then I would always appreciate that as well, getting more people involved. And yeah, that'll do it for me right now then. So join me back next time for the start of season 5. Looking forward to it. And thanks everyone. Have a great day. Peace.